Good morning and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folarin. Well, interesting news this morning. You look at all the papers. You heard it from yesterday. Chukwudumeme Onwuamadike, better known as Evans, being called the notorious kidnapper. But I don't know if that is not a careless use of words, that you are calling him a kidnapper, since the way the thing is now looking, Chukwudumeme Onwuamadike, aka Evans, has actually now taken the Inspector General of Police to court. He's also joined the Nigeria Police Force, the Commissioner of Police in Lagos State, and the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, Lagos State Police Command. All of those guys have been joined together by Mr. Evans, and this work has been done by Lagos lawyer Olukoya Ogungbeje. Now, what Evans wants is charge me to court immediately, or the court should just say that he should be discharged unconditionally. So that's where we are, and my guest this morning, the first of them, is Mr. Tony Ofoyeton. He's a lawyer, security consultant, and DG of International Institute of Professional Security. Thank you very, very much for coming on, Tony.
Good morning. Thank you.
So this is the law at work.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's also the interesting part of the law. Of course, we all have the right to approach the court. I think what Evans is basically doing is to assert his right, as the law presumes him innocent until he is proved guilty. And don't also forget that what he's simply asking for is the enforcement of his fundamental rights.
Sorry, Tony. Why I didn't say that one. Thank you very much. Let me just emphasize that Mr. Chukwudumeme Onwuamadike's real suit is about it's a rights enforcement suit.
Yes, it's a fundamental human right.
A rights enforcement suit. Now, when he allegedly was kidnapping people and keeping them kidnapped for 7 years, there was no rights enforcement issue. Okay, please continue, because I'm not staying on the straight and narrow of the law. Yes.
We look at it from different perspectives. The moral aspect of the law is a different thing, not minding that law and morality, they work at parallel line. They don't meet.
Indeed.
They don't meet.
And even the kidnapping is an allegation.
Yes, it
right?
is an allegation,
it's an allegation.
it is now.
As of today.
And, yes, I granted an interview immediately he was apprehended. And I said something. I said, if the police did not do their job properly, and if the man starts talking, you may be shocked that the case may now be going in manners that will become embarrassing. So I'm sure that is this type of sentiment you share now. There is no way a man will be involved in that type of high level of kidnapping that will not involve some high and mighty, some security agencies, some big wigs. The only one you know now is kidnapping for ransom. Don't forget that you have kidnapping for ritual. Now, don't forget that you also have robbery. Don't forget that you also have murder involved in all this. So if the police did not do their job properly, because like we see in other developed countries, apprehension of a suspect is always the last thing. The very last thing. Before you apprehend it, he has been on the police watch list for about 5 years, from what we learned. Now we expect that within that 5 years, the police would have been gathering ancillary evidence to establish the fact that this man is been on our list. We have evidence to show that he's been doing all these things. Now these are things that the police would have gathered enough. They have it in such a manner that even within 2 hours, they can put this man right before a judge. For 5 years, you have that luxury of time. And I think that it is that lacuna that Evans is really playing on now. And another thing you must understand is
wait
this.
a minute, sir. It's you're being factual so far, and I imagine you will be throughout. But Evans is not playing on it. It is Lagos lawyer Olukoya Ogungbeje. Because I saw pictures of Evans, who was very, very contrite and who was wringing his hands, and his mother was saying that, give me another chance. All of it is irrelevant to the law.
Don't bring the lawyer into it. The lawyer, listen. You see,
I know the lawyer works on behalf of his client.
It's not a pro bono matter. Don't forget that.
In other words,
it's not a free case.
It's not a free case.
Yes.
The lawyer will be
it will be
duly rewarded.
There will be consideration
yes.
that would have been furnished for him to do his job.
When you say consideration, sorry, sir, you're talking law. Money. I know you're talking law. I wanted you to say money. And money.
There will be money that will be paid for him to do his job. Now, don't forget that peradventure, in the unlikely event, for example, that Evans is before a court, a criminal trial, and he does not have the money now to hire a lawyer. The state is bound to give him a lawyer.
Indeed.
So
Indeed.
it means that no matter how you think about it, there must be a lawyer that will stand for him.
Okay, sir.
So the issue is not the lawyer. It's the instruction, it's the brief.
You are being perfectly correct. That's why we have a lawyer like you. But there are one or two layman questions I want to ask. Where is Evans going to get the money to pay for this? I imagine his accounts have been frozen as a result of those allegations. Or, you know, or are there ways lawyers can work it out? Say, look, don't worry, if there's no money now. I don't know. How does that work?
No, it depends on their understanding because it could be the family member that have hired him on behalf of Evans. Is possible. From what I see professionally, what I will tell you is that the safest thing for Evans to do as it is now is actually to go the way he has gone, because his life and his freedom is at stake. I will explain what that means. What that means is that it is not just the allegation of kidnapping. You also have murder involved. Don't forget that in one of their operations, a police officer was killed in one of their operations. And also, we also have evidence now that he's been arrested in 2006 for robbery before, which he, for one reason or the other,
all of these are allegations.
Yes, we are hearing that heads will roll at the police headquarters and all. So at the end of the day, it's not going to be a singular charge against him. And let me tell you one thing. Robbery, police don't take robbery cases lightly. Apart from that they caught him with arms and ammunition. It's not on a good day. If not that it has become a sensational matter. Yeah. By now, Evans would have been RIP.
Yes. So this is what we have on our hands here. The system, we talked about the system yesterday. The system is being worked. The system, you just said that, look, never mind how odious what Evans allegedly did might appear to you, this is the best way for him to go. So he himself is, you know, he's benefiting from legal the way it is. Of course,
because the type of matter that
and isn't it slightly ironic that it's a rights enforcement suit?
He has a right.
I know,
Look, I understand the sentiment and I share the sentiment with you. I've advocated as a person that kidnappers should be executed because they are worse than armed robbers. Because armed robbery will come and within a twinkle of an eye, 5 minutes.
But we can't do that outside the law.
No, I'm just telling you the type of, that's to tell you I share your sentiment, and I also understand the pain of a kidnapper is worse than the pain of robbery. And from information we had, he could keep some of his victims as long as 7 months. It's traumatic. You don't know the mental insanity it would have imposed on their family members.
One can only imagine it.
I'm not even talking of the monetary aspect of it. And from the evidence, from the story we read, that he will collect even to the last kobo. That is to tell you how callous.
Exactly.
How callous and inhuman.
In spite of that,
in spite of
there
all
is
this,
law.
The law now says that you have a limited period of time within which you can hold him. Now the police have said that we have gone to court, and court has granted us a period of time. I don't know how.
3 months, according to one paper.
Yes,
that
but I'm
the police
aware
say
that you know holding charges are no longer fashionable in our jurisprudence in this part of the world. You know, so what we expect is that whatever the situation may be, the government can always arraign him. Time don't run against government. Time don't run against you. I can tell you that the tendency of granting him bail is very remote, possible, but remote in that the conditions may be very stringent.
Okay, one moment, please. Let me take in Joel. Joel is calling in from Ireland, I believe. Joanne. Hello, Joanne.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much for calling in.
Can I speak on?
Yes, go ahead, please.
The program is not, nobody's listening.
Joan,
They are busy
okay,
talking,
Joan,
and you're asking
sorry.
to talking. Is that how you conduct your programs?
Joan, did you want to add to our topic? Did you want to say something?
Yes, at the program. That I don't want to speak into it, but I'm on the program.
I'm afraid I can't hear you, but we're talking about the legal issues with the alleged kidnapper Evans. He has taken the police to court. Did you want to contribute? I didn't quite get what Joan wanted.
I think he was not coherent enough.
Yeah, you know. So if Joan is listening, she can still get back to us. The law sometimes, well, it might seem to quote-unquote laymen, that is the regular members of the public, that this is taking things too far. But sorry, this is the way it works. This is the rule of law. We have to keep everything in perspective. But that doesn't mean, I imagine, that there's going to be any less fervor in the investigative work that's ongoing.
Not at all. And one thing I will assure you is that anybody that has encounter with police and that leads to the loss of life of any police officer, the police formation don't take it lightly.
Okay.
Umar
is calling in from Abuja. Good morning, sir.
Yeah.
Please go ahead, sir.
Hello?
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Go ahead with your comment, please.
Okay, what I'm trying to say is that I'm also not in the... Are you hearing me?
Loud and clear.
Yeah, I said I'm also not in support of holding this man for more than that 24 hours. I think the police should have either take him to the court or release him, as he is also saying.
Yeah, I see. Thank you very much. So what you're saying is that we have to be lawful here. We have to follow the law here. No, there are due processes to all of these things.
There are due processes.
You can't deprive a man of his freedom anyhow.
That's just the absolute truth under a democratic governance. But there is nothing called absolute freedom anywhere. There's nothing called absolute freedom. I expect ordinarily, like I said, that the police should have done a good job anyway. What they are trying to do now is to see as many evidence as they can further gather contemporarily to be able to array him. But having said so, and that is the lacuna that Evans' lawyer now has seen, and is now, play on.
And he's just doing his work.
Yes.
He's just doing his job. Someone is calling in. Mr. Odedi is calling in.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you very much for calling in.
Uncle Yori, good morning.
Good morning,
and
sir.
And the man in the house, I greet you.
Good morning.
You see, Nigeria is a very funny country. If it were in other penal crimes, I'm quite sure that the lawyers there, what they would be filing for now is for clemency. You understand? Maybe that clemency, or maybe the punishment will be the
no. But Mr. Odedi, how fair are you when you say Nigeria is a funny country? Nigeria is a lawful, law-abiding country, is what I thought you might say.
I know. Indeed, we are a law-abiding country. And that is why we are almost sure that in Nigeria, any case that involves someone who have billions, any case that involves someone who have billions in his possession will almost always be resolved against that billionaire, no matter where the source of that money comes from. Once you are a billionaire in Nigeria, you have immunity against conviction. You don't have immunity against prosecution like the president and the governor. But against conviction, you have immunity. And this is what Evans has studied carefully. He and his lawyers, they have seen it clearly that Nigeria's judiciary is not advanced to criminal activity as long as you are ready to play ball.
Well, Okay, Mr. Dede, thank you very, very much for calling in. Before you go as far as you were heading into the judiciary and criminality, God forbid, the two don't mix. But Mr. Odede highlighted a very, very dangerous thing, that the law, such as it is, every civilized society needs the law, but he is saying that there's one set of law for the poor and there's another set of law in our beloved country for the rich.
Yeah, it's not that there are different sets of laws, it's the application of those laws, especially when it comes to the speed at which you execute judgment, especially for those whose pockets are lean, compared to those whose
in other words, they don't have anybody to speak for them, they don't have influential friends, they don't have connections. No, in short, they have nothing but God.
That is the unfortunate part of the whole...
So, Ishak is calling in from Jos. Good morning, Mr. Ishak. Thank you for calling in, sir.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Yori. Good morning to your guest.
Good morning.
I'm Ishak Kaiwa, I'm calling from Jos. Mr. Yori, I think if by now police should have had enough evidence to charge this guy to court. Because, you know, Nigerian lawyers, they are kind of funny people. The same Nigerian lawyer will be looking into the loophole in the Constitution and advising these criminals on ways to get out. By now, I believe we have so many lawyers now that will be queuing to defend these criminals.
That just want a piece of that pie. That just want their own piece of that pie.
Exactly, but they want to take from the from criminal proceed. If you know the proceed is from crime and you want to benefit from it, you equally should be treated as an accomplice. However, Mr. Yori,
yes,
the area I'm concerned about is the release of information. The police have been releasing some information concerning this criminal. I think there should be secrecy. There are some information they shouldn't release to the public, because the more you release information, those that the information affected will quickly decrease. So I want to advise the Nigerian police, there should be secrecy in some information this guy is giving out.
Indeed.
They should not quickly be releasing information to the media.
Okay.
I've had so many, before you know, you will see a breaking news later, that Evans has also released another information. So that is my advice, and this guy should quickly be arraigned before his competent law. So that if guilty, going to face death penalty, we will know he's going to be life imprisonment, we will know, so that it will serve as different. So that is my take.
Thank you very much for calling in. Two things now. One, the gentleman before him had, actually said that the law doesn't work the same way in our country for everybody. There is fear and favor. All this matter is said without fear or favor. There is plenty of fear and favor when it comes to applying the law. And what the last caller did just say now is that, well, he was a bit one kind with lawyers, but lawyers don't care, right? No, lawyers don't care. This is what they do.
No, it's not a matter of the fact that lawyers don't care. It's just that even the law expects that you defend your client. That's one thing we must understand. He must be defended. Then it's not also right to say that lawyers will teach the accused person what to say or how to do some things. In this part of the world that we are, even the policeman can teach you what to do. If
this
you have,
is exactly what we're talking
even the
about.
police can teach you what to do, not even just the lawyer. So it depends on so many variables. Like we have identified now, money is just the root of the evil we talk about. If the money on ground is good enough, you will be shocked that even the man that kills is allowed to go. The person whose child is killed is put in detention.
Exactly the way people are feeling about the victims.
Because
but you see, because you can't say the alleged victims.
No.
Whereas we're talking about the alleged kidnapper.
No,
I don't think there are alleged victims.
There are confessional statements.
But let me quickly bring in Mr. Olabi from Egbeda. I'll come back to the point. Sorry for interrupting you. Mr. Olabi, Egbeda, good morning, sir.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Yori.
Thank you for calling in.
You said this case of Evans is just a case of a bushmeat now chasing the hunter. Because I blame the Nigeria police force for this. If you say you have been on trial for someone that, okay, you're chasing someone for good 5 years, definitely you should have the concrete evidence by now. But now you haven't, this man hasn't appeared in court, hasn't appeared in anything. All you have to release, ever says this, ever says that, ever says this. I didn't blame any lawyer for this. They're only doing their job. They have to perfect everything. Thank you. God bless Nigeria. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you very much for calling in. As we were saying,
Even
look,
the
victims are not alleged. Those people are walking around. They're they're telling about their mental scars.
Even the confessional statement of Evans is sufficient to arraign him. Even his confessional statement, the confessional statement of his gang members, they are sufficient to arraign him. You don't need any extraneous evidence or investigation from heaven. It's just that we like making a mountain out of a molehill. These are things, as I'm a lawyer, and I understand that, look, a man has made confessional statement. He signed it. It was not under duress. Now, all members of gang have said that this is what we do. This is the man that asked us to do X and Z. All you need to do is gather all these papers together, present them before court. Now, it may not be an overnight thing. If you have subsequent evidence along the line, you can always furnish additional evidence. But that you are keeping him behind, now you allow him to gain momentum. He is now putting you on defense. Now, at the end of the day, Nigerians are now divided. Should the law prevail? Should morality prevail? Are you sure that what is even happening? So many things. Now, at the end of the day now, even the police will now be accused, whether rightly or wrongly, that so many
because
things.
We were a bit slow, you know, we weren't as nimble as we should have been on our feet.
Yes, I think that's it. In short, within a period of maximum of 1 week,
yes,
the young man should have been arraigned.
They should have been ready.
Yes.
Yeah, but so this is.
There are cases where you arraign somebody and say you are waiting for a DPP's report.
Well, it's the way the law works, unfortunately, which is really this. We understand it. That's why people go to university and study this thing for 4 years in the first instance, and they can take a whole lifetime to study it. Apart from that, and so we understand these principles, but we're just going to have to live with the frustration of. There are no alleged victims. There are actual, confirmed victims. Now we have the confusion of an alleged perpetrator, an alleged kidnapper, who, as we speak, because we are law-abiding, we must say this man is innocent. He is innocent of all these nasty things you people are talking. That's the law, right?
Well, I'm sorry. If what I had him say.
Let me take Mr. Anekwe from Dublin. Good morning, Mr. Anekwe.
Good morning, Mr. Yori.
Thank you very much for calling in.
Dublin, from UK.
Okay. Thank you for calling in.
Yeah. Morning, Yori.
Okay, go ahead, please.
And Yori, morning to your guest as well.
Sure.
Good morning.
Nigerian police, the problem we have in Nigeria is Nigerian police. I cannot imagine the statement they made that they have been trailing this very man for the past 5 years. Is it going to take them 10 years before they know what to do? Somebody has been trailing for 5 years. 5 years is enough. The point is that they don't even know how to keep statement secrecy. Remember the issue of Anini? During the time of Anini, the armed robber that killed people in Benin Road, you remember Anini?
Yeah.
Each time they said they want to arrest Anini, Anini will change position. It's the police that's giving Anini information. So Nigerian police will know what they are. They don't have this information about this man for the past 5 years. If they have, they will still go to court straight away. They are just, starting an investigation. They don't have it. They are just telling lies. They don't have anything.
Thank you, Anekwe, for calling in. Appreciate your call. Really, we're looking at some of the incongruities of the law. Incongruous only in terms of our public morality, maybe personal morality. That look, someone was kidnapped for 7 months. He escaped. You can see the scars. But sorry, the law is what it is. It's just we're going to have to live with it. That's the truth of the matter. We're going to have to live with it because the alternative is inconceivable, which will be you can't accuse a person and convict him at the same time. That would be jungle justice.
It's not even their responsibility to convict. their own responsibility, basically. They are not even going to prosecute. It's not the police responsibility to prosecute Evans. The responsibility of the police is to arraign the department
that's
of
Mr. Evans, by the way.
PPP. Yes.
But nowadays, when you look at the newspapers, he's a lion.
Yes. Is to, in short, is the Ministry of Justice that will prosecute him. A lawyer from Ministry of Justice will do that. Now the police is only going to, you know, be a prosecution witness as it is now. So their own is conclude the whole investigation, all the papers and everything, hand it over to the Ministry of Justice. Then the Ministry of Justice will take it. And that is after the DPP's report.
Yes. And all of Nigeria is going to be watching all of this as all of these processes play themselves out because they must. They must.
Yes.
So all of Nigerians are going to be watching like this. I can imagine, metaphorically speaking. Good morning, sir, Mr. Well, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Uncle Yari.
Thank you very much for calling in. Mr. Adeshina, I momentarily forgot your name. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Uncle Yari.
Thank you for calling in.
Good morning to your guests.
Good morning.
Good morning to your guys in the studio.
Good morning.
Uncle Yari, I want you to know that bad people succeed in a society where good men look away. And a leader sin is a leading sin. I want you to know that this man has been trained for the past 7 years. This man cannot succeed without the support of some security personnel aiding and abetting him. And that is why he can have the guts, in spite of all what we have seen, we have watched. The confidential statement he made, how the crime he has committed. I don't know where we want to get this every further evidence again from. It can only happen in Nigeria, all these things that I think, whereby the value system has been eroded. Everybody is talking about money. You see, why some people somewhere can subvert the case because of money. And that is why I don't know. We are not a different climate. We are not from another different climate. We just need to allow our conscience, morality to do what we are doing. In fact, a lawyer came on air and said, no matter the money somebody steals, which is the whole money of Nigeria, the law, the constitution says it's more than 7 years. And I begin to see that same lawyer talking about restructuring when I watch it. I wondered, can we even think of the effect of those people who have committed crime against
Mr. Adeshina, I understand the way you feel. Thank you very, very much for your call. And passionate Nigerian, I can relate with you. I got to go on a break. I'll be right back. The law is the law. And until we throw it out, we're going to have to go through this. Stay with us, please. Welcome back. The alleged kidnapper Chukwudumeme Onwuamadike, aka Evans, has taken the Nigeria Police Force, the Inspector General of Police, the Lagos State Commissioner of Police, the Special Anti-Robbery Squad. All of them have been taken to court by, Chukwudumeme, of course, acting on his behalf. Olukoya Ogungbeje, his lawyer, has said that, and rightly so, when you come to think of it, all of these are charges, and until the man is pronounced pronounced guilty in a court of law, he actually, is well within his right. So he's asked that, through his lawyer, that they should dismiss everything against him, summarily, and he should go, or charge me to court.
Compensation, 300 million.
And then pay. Yeah. It is well. So this is the way the law works. He's allowed to say those kind of things.
In addition to the billions, 300 million.
And as I was emphasizing the fact that the victims are not alleged, though. Even as the crimes are alleged in the case of the alleged perpetrator of the crimes.
Even himself is not alleged. Because he has confessed and he said that he would be born again, that they should give him another time. Another chance, rather.
But his father, according to something I read, his father has filed a 27-point affidavit in support of his son.
Somebody must depose to that affidavit. And it has to be somebody as close as the father or the clerk of the lawyer's chamber. And the lawyer feels it's more authentic and it's better for the father to depose to the affidavit on behalf of the son, because the son is inaccessible as at the time of filing the matter.
And this is legal advice that people pay for.
Well, of course.
You know.
Of course, that's why we went to school.
Mr. George, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you very much for calling in.
Good morning, Tony.
Good morning, sir.
Uncle Yori, this is what you get in a society where morality and value system has collapsed. They want you to go the Saraki way. Everything will be pronounced not guilty on technical grounds. Where are we going from here? Uncle Yori, I am one advocate for police reformation. The police cannot claim that they do not. I believe they know more about kidnapping than they are telling us. This young man has been arraigned or has been arrested before by the police.
Yes.
And I understand he was released. On what basis? Whenever kidnapping happens, the police will tell the family, don't give money. But at the end of the day, police will say the victim has been rescued. Where is the people that kidnapped the victim? They say it's been released. Nobody will know how they went about it. I am suspecting complicity on the part of police on this issue of kidnapping. Kidnapping has been going on for several years. It started in the East. They did not look at it because they were allegedly benefiting from it. This way it is going, is it this same Evan that we have been viewing the video of his confessional statements that is now going to court? I just can't get it, Uncle Yori. I will advise the government to seriously look into the idea of reforming the police. Let them bring in somebody that is not from the police force, like they did in the customs, to come and reform the police. There is no police officer that can reform the police because most of them are affected.
Yeah.
This Evans was arrested because the IG brought somebody from somewhere to come and head a special task force. Otherwise, this Evans will have continued to be operating.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, Uncle Yori.
Thank you very much for calling in. Where we are at now is that Mr. Chukudumeme, Onwamadike, has become a lion heart and is able to take everybody to court. Let's just play some of the earlier tapes before today.
I started in Anambra. Then from Anambra, I moved to Edo.
How many jobs did you do in Anambra?
The truth of the matter is that I did not do anything in Anambra.
Okay.
I did not do anything in Anambra. Okay. Anambra can get the record of it. Okay. You understand?
Edo?
Okay, Edo State. Edo State is like about 3 times.
Okay. Did you do?
In Edo State, before I come to Lagos.
What did you do in Edo State?
3 times. First, second time.
It's kidnapping.
Who and who? Who and who did you kidnap? In Edo?
I don't know. I don't know their names.
Okay. How do you get information before you go to kidnap someone? You understand? First you get information. In Edo, who you technical?
In Edo?
No, he'll be asking you.
In Edo, 2008, 2009, you kidnapped Kingspins and Randeki.
I'm not the person that did the Kingspin.
Look at him.
I did not. Do you understand me?
Look at him now. Or look straight. When they ask you a question.
Okay. You say you're not the one that did the job. Who did the job?
If you can bring the man to testify, he can verify whether you understand me now.
They are also who did the job now?
If you are not the one who did it.
I don't know who did it.
Okay, another one.
In 2011,
okay,
we kidnapped Greeners Line Transport.
It's not me.
You collected ransom of 80 million naira.
Oga, I swear to God, it's not me.
In 2015, listen now, we kidnapped director of Dan Odete company. Dan Odete. You collected 100 million naira ransom. Stop now.
Is that true?
I know about Dan Odete.
Okay.
You understand now? What I know is, I know people that do the you understand me now? But each time they said they did not collect 100 million. That what they collected is 50 million.
From the Anudete?
Yes.
Okay.
You did not take part of what?
He took part. Who was the gang?
Are you not the leader of the gang?
No.
Who is the leader?
Those boys, they are from Warri.
Okay, but you are in contact with them? Because you know how much they make now. So you know them.
Yes.
Okay, but not be saying that you...
2012-13, you kidnapped Uyi Technica in Benin and collecting ransom of 100 million.
From Uyi Technica? I told you about Uyi Technica and all that.
Well, so there you see it. The man actually started from way back. You know, maybe people weren't aware of that because of his mien. He's virtually denied everything.
No, he did not deny being a kidnapper. Let's understand that. There are specific operations that he denied that he was not part of.
That is it.
Now, but of course, there are other avalanche of operations that he was not just part of, the architect and the arrowhead. So let's not just be swayed with the fact that I'm not the person that did 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
But what happened to maybe 4 to 10? You understand?
Okay,
that?
let me take Mazi Okoroafo. Good morning, Mazi. Thank you for calling in.
Good morning, Sir Yori. Good morning, Sir Tony, our guest in the studio.
Good morning, sir.
Honestly speaking, Mr. Yori, you see, this issue of a bank, the kingpin, they have turned him to be as a big boy. What do I mean as a big boy? In Nigeria today, we worship money. And all this investigation we are talking about, now let me pick up an investigation. Now, when they call this issue of drug baron outside Nigeria, what happened? Within 1 week, they finished the investigation, they traced the man, at the end of the man escaped through a tunnel in his house. Now, what happened? Did they allow him? They just pretended as if they don't know that what happened. At the end of the day, what happened? They continued their job. Now, there are evidences that this man, I will just tell the Nigerian police, all those people that this kingpin has kidnapped, they should come out and confess. And just tell the police how much they paid, where all these things were done. Because we have to trace the origin, where this young man operates from Lagos to another zone, to another state. Because if we don't trace all these areas, we are wasting our time in terms of investigation. Because you cannot stop kidnapping. Listen, after the Civil War, what happened? Kidnapping started and robbery. Now you have seen the side effects of Civil War and it still continues. Please, Nigerian police, they should do proper job. Catch this man to court. Because waiting for Ghana or South Africa, that's what does not. Why they are charging to court, why they continue their investigation. Thank you very much. Have a blessed day in Lagos.
Thank you very much for calling in, Mazi Okoroafo. Well, it is what we have on our hands. The points that are being made are very, very important points because with this in our society here, we've had this experience of thinking this is as clear as day. We know how this is going to go in all probability. And then suddenly discharged and acquitted might be at the end of it. Now, one is not saying that is what is going to happen here. But the Nigeria police, I think, from what we're hearing here, maybe dropped the ball along the line. And people have criticized the way police has operated in the sense that maybe too much stuff has been told to the public, maybe in an effort to show how our gallant men are doing the needful and making results. But it's strengthening the hands of the defense team. And I don't know, lawyers and police know better about how to go about these whole matters. But sometimes you get the impression that we are given too much information, and oftentimes not just the accused, but also all those who are going to swing to his defense are just happy to know what the police knows.
Yeah, I agree with you. The modus operandi of even apprehending the young man had a lot of press sensational approach, which some of us are a little bit, skeptical about. Because when you are talking about apprehending a man of that magnitude,
yes,
you don't need the high-level press sensational.
Thank you very much. I mean, he was handed to the press, and
yes,
the press was
just all over him.
All over him, exactly.
All those things like that. I think what the police was trying to do is to establish the fact that, you know, we can achieve success. But some of us told, I remember I granted an interview and I said that it was one of the failures of the police to say that you pursue a man for 5 years and you eventually caught him.
And now you're making,
you know,
Mr. Ade Inigondo, thank you for holding on, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you for calling in.
Yes, sir. You are going to pay my credit, sir. You send me the chat card. You waste my time.
Sorry.
Okay, sir. My contribution to this, at least, military allow us to use our values. And this is the consequences we are reaping today in Nigeria. And now the politicians now took it up where the military left us. There is no moral value in our system anymore. Everybody is worshipping money. All the so-called big men, honestly, 90% of them are criminals. That is why some people are now clamoring that they should release Evans.
Well, sorry, Mr. Ade, you can't fault the law because they are operating. It might not be satisfactory to everybody, but they're operating within the law. And the law allows that an allegation is an allegation until it is confirmed.
Honestly, in Nigeria's situation, it's glaring to us. Without following the law, we know the criminal. Let us face the reality in this country. We know all the criminal. When it happens, we know that it is the criminal. Why are we hiding under the law?
Okay. Mr. Ade, thank you very much for calling in. I hear you and I hear your frustration.
Now, let me say something very quickly.
Okay. The man said, we know all the criminals. Never mind the law.
He is absolutely right.
Spot on.
Let's leave the issue of this. I remember I gave a story of a king. Robbers came to the king's palace. They've been robbing in the community for years. Nothing happened. They had the impetus to go to the king's palace. They raped the king's favorite wife. That is the youngest. And that thing sent a very deep, in Yoruba land it's called a taboo. Now look at what happened. A week later, the security formation, I don't want to mention the name of we all know the name of the security boys in the community. If I mention the name, all of us know. They went house by house, I repeat, in this Lagos state, house by house, they brought out all the robbers in the community and shot them in the front of their houses, in presence of their family members. Do you know the irony? Nobody they never accused that they killed anybody unjustly. And since that time, for more than 15 years,
yes,
there have not been cases of robbery in that community.
Okay, well, Mr. Chukudi is calling in from Ogudu. Might that have been in your community?
Yes. Good morning, Muriel.
Good morning. Thank you for calling in.
Yeah, you see, I was surprised when I saw that it wasn't Ozekome or Agadi that filed that suit. Because these are the people that defend the robber. Because this man has money too.
Excuse me. I got to take exception. I thought you mentioned Ozekome SAN's name in terms of expertise.
Yeah, he was a victim of kidnapping. But to now
categorize him as these are, it's not fair. No, and we dissociate ourselves from it.
Let me leave it, but I know what Nigerians know.
No, that's
nice. Let me tell you one thing. You see, this police thing, investigation, if it goes so far, you don't know where the present IG was when this man was rampaging. You don't know where the present IG was. You don't know where all the big police officers there, the DIGs, the AIGs, where they were when this man was rampaging all these years. You don't know who is culprit. You don't know who.
So what's your point, sir? So Chukudu, what therefore is your point?
My point is that we should bring an external body to investigate the police involvement in this man's case.
Okay. Okay.
Whether it is FBI or Israeli Mossad, let's bring them to investigate this thing.
Okay. Thank you very much for calling in. Again, wanting to bring an independent entity that will not look at the ground, as it were, because that's one of the problems we have with running our affairs. When you look at the lie of the ground, it's not going to be level. Whether nepotism, whether old boy colleague, whether money, whatever it is, the ground is not going to be level. So you're now looking for someone who is going to come and operate on a level playing field. How doable do you think that is?
Well, it may be a little bit challenging because the person that is going to come, even if he's coming from outside the country, he will need information. He will need relevant document to work with. And these are the same set of people that will provide the relevant information, the relevant document that he needs to work with. Somebody gave an example of custom. The question is custom better off now?
Okay. Mr. David in Alagbado, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you for calling in.
And the gentleman in the studio.
Good morning.
First of all, sir, I just wanted to, I'm speaking as a layman now.
Sure.
This man, if I'm not mistaken, they've been trying to fish him out for the past 5 years.
Yeah.
In the course of these 5 years, if I am not mistaken again, they should have got enough evidence to prosecute him immediately he's caught. Things like this, they just promote jungle justice in the society. They will think that once they have money and they are caught, they will find a way out of the situation. Please, please, and please, our system is so bad. Something should be done.
Okay.
Something should be done. See this man taking people to court. After all these things we are seeing, something should be done. Thank you very much. Good morning.
Indeed, thank you very much for calling in. We talked about the system yesterday. Nigerians are bemoaning the system that we have. The Nigeria police is getting its own share of, I don't know if it's a fair share, but it's getting its own share of the blame. That, look, everything, you were explaining the role of the police in all of this, that at the end of the day, it's not up to them. They're just going to be witnesses. But they're crucial in the sense that they prepare the case in the first instance.
Well. Yes, conduct the investigation.
And sometimes one just hopes that, contrary to the impressions of some, failure is not being built into it from the very, very beginning, knowing full well that leave it to the lawyers. They'll find it up there, put it in here, down here.
I think what happened many a times to government agencies is because of the protection of governance and government, and a lot of laziness is you see high level of laziness and negligence. It happened even in ministries.
Yeah.
Even in ministries and the like, because the ministry believe that the judge is also part of the civil service, and therefore would find it convenient to say, my lord, I need an adjournment because the minister has not signed this. So the judge is expected to understand. I had 20 cases yesterday, and because of that, I'm not able to prepare my brief today. My lord, I need that. You see, that laziness that those of us in the private practice, we don't have that type of, laxity or that type of luxury. But you see it, and it also play out within even the police. You come to court at times, you see the IPO not prepared for the matter, and is 2-3 adjournment is not in court. So the next thing is that the matter is struck out.
All of this, all of what you describe, you're not describing history. You're describing very everyday occurrences, modern everyday occurrences.
Of course.
So all of this is going to be brought to bear, if we're not very careful, on Evans. Evans is going to be brought to bear on his case, and that is it's a chilling, harrowing thought. We've heard on the program this morning people calling in saying that 2 sets of applications for the same law in Nigeria, depending on who you are. That's on the one hand. Then also, what other? And these are very, very dangerous ideas, because they now make you think that just going and coming is the grace of God. There is no system to protect me. Suddenly, Mr. Evans, a.k.a. Evans, this rights enforcement suit, I can't get over the fact that I can't get over the fact that he deprived other people of their rights, allegedly. Mr. Deboega Alagbado, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Opiori.
Thank you for calling in.
Good morning, Mr. Tony.
Good morning.
Yes, let me first make this clear, please. Let me clear myself out first. I frown at any act of crime or corruption. Let me first clear that. And again, the kidnapper, maybe alleged kidnapper or whatever they...
Alleged now. Alleged kidnapper.
Alleged kidnapper. Let me tell you what I think some security agencies might be telling this man, as in some security personnel might be telling him that what is good for the good is also good for the gander. I think they must have looked back to see how our politicians are being treated when they are being caught in some act of corruption like this. But they are not being put out by the police officers, for God's sake. This man is being beaten. I'm not supporting the man, but I'm just speaking like an average Nigerian. He's being beaten and molested in the police station. Meanwhile, they don't do that to some influential politicians in this country.
Wait, beating in police station, that one is allegedly.
Allegedly,
is it allegedly? Police don't beat people.
With his swollen eye, with the bruises in his eyes.
Okay.
That means he was beaten.
Okay.
Excuse me, please. Let's face the reality.
I'm sorry, I got to interrupt you because I've completely run out of time, but I understand you and I thank you for calling in, sir. That one surely has to be allegedly.
No,
police don't beat people.
Look,
because we got to go.
We got to go, but we got to understand that some blood truth will heal us. Okay. We've been very pretentious in this country. There is nothing the young man said that is not absolute truth. You may not say it, but that is just the truth.
And I've got to leave it there.
Yes,
I think let's just leave it there. It's enigmatic. It's enigmatic, but let's leave it there. That's just the truth. We know it. We have no confusion about what the truth is. Applying it is another matter.
It is
okay, thank you very much for coming on the program, Tony. I'm Yori Folari. Bye-bye for now.